Next on the Eater's Guide, I'm serving up everyone's favorite comfort food, creamy au gratin potatoes with savory ham. I travel to eat. I live for adventure. I experience the local culture. And I'm sharing my journey with you. I'm Matthew Bernstein, and this is the Eater's Guide. Hey everyone, welcome to the Eater's Guide. Thank you for watching this video. If you like what you see today, go ahead and hit subscribe so you never miss a tasty episode. And while you're there, give us a thumbs up because we like those too. Now on our menu today, we're gonna make an easy creamy au gratin potatoes with ham. It's probably one of my favorite comfort dishes. I call this a pantry meal because you probably already have some of these ingredients laying around in your pantry or fridge. So let's get started. I have a ham left over from the other night, and what I'm doing is just carving off slices, and any excess fat I am gonna trim it, but I don't want to take off too much because I want that fat flavor still in there. And then the slices are just gonna be kind of irregular pieces. They're not gonna be uniform. They're gonna be bite-sized pieces that are gonna kind of match the size of the potatoes. Now the amount of ham that you want to cut up is totally up to you, but I like to have an equal ratio of ham to potatoes. That way you don't get a fork full of ham or a mouthful of potatoes. It's a nice balance. So now that I got my ham all cut up, I'm just going to put it in this little dish for the time being. And I'm going to move over to my potatoes. We're using probably about 10 medium-sized russet potatoes. I peeled them and I went ahead and sliced them into about 1/4 inch thick cuts. So now that I got my ham all chopped up and my potatoes sliced, I went ahead and preheated the oven to 400 degrees. I also pre-greased this casserole dish with a tablespoon of butter or 2. First, I'm gonna just drain all this water. I used the water now so the potatoes didn't turn brown as I was preparing my other ingredients. Next, I'm going to start layering about half of these potatoes into the bottom of this pre-greased casserole dish. Now that I got my first layer of potatoes down on this casserole dish, I'm going to start adding little bits of ham right on top of the first layer of potatoes. Next, I'm going to use my green onion. Add a little layer of green onion on top of the ham. You should always season your food. No matter what you're making, just add some pepper and some salt. Next, I'm going to start adding a second layer of potatoes, savory ham, and green onion. Alright, so I moved over to the stove and I'm using this medium-sized saucepan to start combining the wet, dry ingredients. First, I'm going to add the butter. Followed by the flour and salt. Now we're going to stir this until all the ingredients are absorbed and look smooth. What we're creating here with the flour and butter is a roux. Think of this as the foundation of flavor that we're building for the cheese sauce. I'm going to gently pour in the cream. And I'm going to continue whisking until there are no more lumps from the flour and it begins to thicken. Finally, I'm going to add in our cheese. And we're going to stir this until everything is melted and mixed together nicely. And you can see that the cheese is all melted in here. And now we're going to pour this cheese and cream all over our potatoes. Oh man, look at that. this is looking delicious already. That green and the onion is really bringing out some nice color into this dish. Smells good already. Next, I'm gonna wrap this in aluminum foil. Time to go in the oven. We already have our oven preheated to 400. We're gonna bake this for an hour and a half until it gets nice brown and delicious. Now, au gratin originated in French cuisine during the 19th century, but has certainly taken on some new ingredients, like turnips and poblano peppers and mushrooms and celery root with leeks. My favorite has always been the classic way, the way my grandmother baked this casserole, with good old-fashioned potatoes and ham. Tell you what, after an hour and a half of smelling this in the house, I'm sure my neighbors are gonna be knocking on the door wanting some of this. So let's go ahead and see what it tastes like. This was certainly worth the hour and a half wait. This isn't magic of television. I actually had to wait an hour and a half for this. Time to dig in. Potatoes are so creamy that I can't even get a hold of them. Potatoes are rich and creamy, delicate, kind of like a mashed potato inside of a potato slice. The ham is fork tender, melts in your mouth. I can't get enough of this. There's a nice balance of potato and ham, but the cheese is the real star of this dish. Holds everything together nicely. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss a tasty episode. And while there, go ahead and give us a thumbs up because we like those too. Also, follow me on Instagram @The Eater's Guide, where I share my foodie adventures and let me know what you're eating, drinking, and cooking too. Well, I got my plate ready to sit down and eat. I hope you enjoy yours. Bon appetit. Learn more about this recipe and a few recommendations by visiting mbtvlive.com.